Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's question and answer session where it's supposed to be me and Chris Palmer, but not sure where Chris has got to. He may have been delayed slightly. Have not heard back from him either way. But if he doesn't come, I'll do the questions myself. But we do hope that he does come along because he's quite a funny guy, as many of you will know, because I know a lot of the people that follow me follow Chris, so he may still come. I've just not heard from him. I hope everything is all good with him, but I will be taking questions and answering as many as I possibly can, regardless of whether Chris comes or not. So let me know who you are, where you're from, and what your questions are. Just stick them in a live chat. The guys, sometimes due to your settings and stuff like that in Facebook, your questions don't always pull through onto the software that I'm using. So if you can, try and go onto YouTube and ask your question there if you don't see it being answered. Obviously, we try and answer any sensible questions. Try and make your questions as specific as possible because it's very hard when someone comes on and says, tell me how to make money, or tell me what SEO is, or tell me the best link building strategy. Very specific questions are much easier to answer, and we can give you as much value as we possibly can. But good to see Mr. Randy Roday here. Gary Farmer, who's going to get a beating at Foot Golf. Raoul, good to see you again, mate. Mark Flanagan, all good here. Hope Chris is as well, wherever he is. I'm all good, Raoul. Hope you are too. Andrew Powell, good to see you, mate. And Holly, yeah, that problem happens quite a lot, actually. And I think, obviously, when people, set up their Facebooks and whatever, they need to allow certain things, security things. And if they don't, then it doesn't come through. So, but it is what it is. But as I say, it's not that we're ignoring people. I just don't want people to get peed off that we're not answering their questions, because the job is to obviously help everyone, regardless of your experience. So there's no such thing as a stupid question. Ask whatever you want relating to SEO, digital marketing, whatever. Zeddy Electrical, good to see you, mate. All good here. Hope it's all good where you are. And Raoul, no problem. Appreciate your following, mate. Always happy to help. Gary Farmer's got the first question of today. How important is building an engaged large social media audience to the effectiveness or success of an affiliate marketing site? It depends. I hate giving that answer. For me to try and get my social media following onto buying, say, golf equipment, it's going to be really hard, because I know my social media following are primarily really into SEO and digital marketing. So, they're not all going to like golf and all that kind of stuff. So it depends. Obviously, if you are building that following around the affiliate marketing niche, then of course that, you can certainly drive a whole bunch of traffic through that social media audience and doing what you do, making videos, reviews, whatever it might be. So I think, if I was building a brand as such, I'd potentially look to utilize social media. Social media works very well for a lot of these Instagram influencers or whatever they're called. And, people are using those pictures and those images and that following to sell to people. And it works very well. But, I think you just have to do it, being very targeted. As I say, I couldn't just randomly start pitching, golf clubs or something to Holly Starks, for example, because she will probably be like, what the hell are you trying to sell me here? I've no interest in that. Now, Holly might be interested in SEO. I'm not actually, golf. I'm not actually sure, but you get the picture. It just might not work out that well. So try and build that audience to the niche that you're operating in. And that's why, if I am going to make any affiliate marketing stuff, a lot of it is based around tools like SEMrush and various other bits and bobs, because it's very targeted to my audience. So
a lot of people say, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? But this is all I really know. So yeah, that's how it goes. Vicky Verma, is making a PBN network on a different server helpful for my money websites? Is it helpful if I make a Web 2.0 PBN? I mean, you can build a Web 2.0 website, a PBN with Web 2.0s. Would that really be an effective PBN? I mean, it probably pass some value, but when I'm building PBNs, I want them on different servers, different IP addresses, no footprints. I don't want people to know it's me or think it's me. So when you're building a PBN, I'm looking for expired domains that have got a lot of power, that are really going to pass value a lot more than the likes of Web 2.0s and stuff like that. Web 2.0s can be made up on autopilot. So I think, just doing it that way is a lot more effective. Or you look at people like Holly there, and she's using Google News websites and stuff like that, and that worked very well for the purpose that she's doing. So it's a hell of a lot better than Web 2.0s, put it that way. Web 2.0s are just, I mean, they're okay, but it's just certainly not something that moves the needle that much, in my opinion. So, yeah, I would always go down the proper PBN route. There you go. And what effect do social signals have in SEO? So, Gary, I've had this question a number of times, and I want to make this clear. Social signals, if you're just buying crappy social signals, which is a bot basically triggering that you've had your page shared 45 times on Facebook or whatever, has no value at all. The real social signals that are out there, where you are going on, whether it's fake personas or not, as long as it's getting traffic, then that click-through rate and engagement from social media can impact your SEO. So having social signals alone isn't the main driver of your SEO moving. It's the click-through rate and engagement that social gives is what moves the needle. So, you want social signals from real social accounts or fake personas or whatever, as long as they're getting traffic and they drive some form of traffic, then you're going to have that benefit. But there's certainly a lot of crap out there where you can buy social signals that just don't do anything. That's just my opinion. And I know there'll be guys out there who say, come on, man, that's not right. But, I've tried it, and that's my opinion on that. CBD flowers, Jesus hell, you've changed from cakes to flowers. Chris has dumped me for Holly. Yeah, he probably has. I don't know. It's not like Chris not to say like he can't make it or whatever. I don't know if he's maybe unwell and or something like that. Fingers crossed. It's he's just something's come up. And he's been stuck in a call or something. Work obviously comes first. This is more a bit of fun. But yeah, hopefully he does pop along. But he's not actually messaged me to say he can't come along or anything, which I'm just going to double check just now. Yeah, still not heard from him. So hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood and all that stuff, that everything is well with him. And I'm sure he might still pop on, or he'll be back next week. Either way, obviously something's cropped up, and he's got to do that. So there you go. Raoul, how much time does it take to rank a website? The answer that I would give to a potential, I mean, again, it really depends. You can get websites ranking in, a couple of months and whatever, depending on, how that's set up. Is it an expired domain name? What the previous SEO was like? And stuff like that. But in general, you're always going to tell someone, it could take you 6 months, 9 months, depending on the competition and everything else. You've got to buy yourself time. It's not about speed. Now, think of it this way. I get a website and some crap guys, done it before and everything's all messed up. The first thing I do is an audit, and then I've got to then assess which of those changes I'm going to do first that's going to, which is the most important thing to fix first and foremost on the website that's going to help, move the needle. There's sometimes when I look at it, the website's just full of 404 errors and it's got all sorts of crap on it. And I might spend month one of that client's budget just cleaning that up and building the foundations. I don't want to be building links or adding content to something that's
not structurally correct. So that might be month 1, and then it goes on to month 2. You might start ordering a bit of content and doing a bit of link building. Then month 3, the client's saying, well, I've been paying you for 3 months and I'm not seeing a whole lot of stuff. So always buy yourself time. And, obviously if you over deliver, great, everyone's happy. So, I would always say 6 months, 9 months, whatever. Of course, there'll be people out there, and I think we demonstrated that a few months ago when we done the digital market in Las Vegas. And again, I mentioned Holly Starks there. She probably started trying with 2 weeks to go. And could she rank websites? Could she rank images? Could she rank all of that stuff within a 2-week period? She did. And that's all there is to it. So, it can be done very, very quickly. But what Holly was doing was using aged domains and stuff like that, which was kind of cheating to some degree. But she had an advantage and she used that advantage, whereas the game was to start fresh with a fresh domain. But, so it really depends if you're inheriting that aged domain name and what kind of backlink profile it's got and everything else as to how fast you can rank that website. So it does change from project to project. Andrew Powell, sorry. ODYS expired domains. Would you use it to build a branded e-com store if so you're not starting from scratch? Looking at ideas to use their domains. So, Andrew, yes, this is the perfect place to buy if you're looking to build a branded thing. The domains on there, are spam checked, trademark checked. They are brandable. They don't just go for, big, horrible domains with dashes in them and all that stuff. They really are brandable. And that's the difference, when you're going to that marketplace, is if you're trying to build a brand, that's the place for you. If it's going to be a kind of cheap PBN or whatever, then it might not be the place for you. So ODYS aged domains is definitely something you should look at. And if you want any advice, do shoot me up on Facebook or email me or whatever. I'm always happy to answer your questions. But obviously sign up for the marketplace using the link below. If you go through that link, you will get approved very quickly, and you will also get £100 sign-up bonus, which obviously goes somewhat to paying for your domain name. But yeah, I mean, I use them myself, and they have been around for years, and I know many people use that because it's the power of that aged domain name that you really want to give you that kickstart. Who wants to start building an e-com store with a bloody brand new domain name that's got no links, no nothing, no history? You really are starting from scratch, and it just takes a bit of time to go out and buy all of those kind of things. So that's where I think ODYS really does stand out from the crowd. Plus, they also give you a logo and all that with your domain name as well. So it's also a little added bonus. But if you've got any other questions on it, Andrew, I'm more than happy to talk to you out with here to help you out. So feel free to shoot me an email or get me on Facebook or whatever. So don't go to my Facebook page, though. Come to my Facebook personal profile, because the page has got a bot on there, and it's a chat bot, and it's a bit of a nightmare. Guys, if you are watching this, please do make sure you give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Richard Johnson, I've got a client that insists on using Vimeo and shuns YouTube. Is there any way to get Vimeo videos to compete against YouTube in the Google search results? The straight answer is no, really. I mean, Vimeo is a great platform, and people have their reasons for wanting to go on there, but YouTube is just that powerful. And obviously, Google prefers it, and unless something changes there, that is what you're up against. So you've just got to follow the masses. And for me, I think YouTube has its flaws, but it's got a massive amount of people using it. So we've just got to fill our boots on here and try and maximize the exposure we get. But Vimeo is also a great platform. It just doesn't get the same level of traction, unfortunately. So I would just be trying my best to You know, they can have them on Vimeo, but I would be potentially upload them to YouTube as well or whatever, trying to do something. So hopefully that helps you, Richard. Sorry I couldn't help any further with that. Where's Chris? I'm not sure where Chris is, Ryan. He's just not replied, and he's normally here every week without fail. If he can't, then there'll be a message. But I don't know if he's been caught up with something or somebody's website's blown up or something. It'll be something crazy like that. And he's just not been able to come on. So, yeah, these things happen. And no problem at all, Bilal. Thank you for coming along. Not able to your PBN free course. Rao, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I have got a PBN section in my free course. That's there. You know, it's accessible for 50,000 people, so there's nothing at all wrong with it in terms of being able to access it. But it's only a section in there now, you know, and it covers everything that I believe you need to know when it comes to PBN. So you can have a look at it. But there's tons of PBN courses out there and people talking about PBNs. There's tons of them out there. As I say, it's there. You're free to use it. So have a look. Holly Starks is saying 500 Web 2.0s versus 2 good PBNs. Holly would take the PBNs, and Holly knows what she's talking about. She probably likes Web 2.0s as well, just given the game that Holly plays, but she knows the value, and you know, PBNs are where you want to be at. Paul Hogden, my SEO Underground top, sponsored by ODYS. So Paul is going to be running a black hat SEO event called seounderground.co.uk in November this year, and it's going to have a lot of good speakers there. We don't know who exactly is going to be speaking, depending on COVID situation, but we hope to have Holly Starks there, Chris Palmer there, I'll be there, and there'll be a few other guys there. But it's not until November. We're trying to make sure, and here is Chris. Chris has just come along, but I'll introduce Chris in just a second. But yeah, on SEO Underground, we just don't know the situation with COVID yet, and Paul has postponed that until November. But you can sign up to the website and just see what's happening, who's going to be speaking and stuff like that, which will be coming out over the coming months. But do check it out. I hear him ruffling around in the background there.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm all flustered today. Sorry, Craig.
No worries.
I looked up and I was like, oh, man, no. I was working on a We Buy Homes deal, and I just got totally lost in work, man.
I knew it'd be something. I just thought.
I'm so sorry, brother.
I just thought something crazy would have happened, like someone's website had blown up or something. So, yeah, he's here finally, 20 minutes in.
I looked up and I was like, oh, man, I got to go on a call. Dude, I was talking, we were talking, and then I'm working, and it was just, so crazy.
I've done it myself.
Sorry, man.
No,
I didn't even check. I woke up and I'm doing my most important 3 things. I started working and I just didn't even look. I didn't go on Facebook. I didn't do anything yet. I just started working.
Good to see you're alive and well, and it's not something that's serious. So it's all good. He's here. So we've got questions. I've just been rattling through them, but we have the man back. So Scott Latham. Evening, buddy. Are you fuming as much as Stevie G today? Absolutely. I'm quite pissed off that they've done that. So if anyone's looking and asking what this means, it's my favourite football team, and 5 of the players get caught at a party during COVID and have let the club down. So quite a serious thing. So not good.
Not good.
Vicky Verma. Is increasing CTR helpful? Which tool is good for CTR manipulation? So Chris is the king of CTR manipulation. So Chris, what is good?
Yeah, I get this a lot. If you don't have the foundation and you don't have the other pieces, then CTR it shouldn't even be on the table yet. It's almost like you know, if I'm building an ice cream, right, the CTR is the cherry. You know, I'm already on the first page. I'm looking for that boost. Or if I'm in maps and I'm just starting out, then that's another story. But if I don't have the foundation, then I need to handle that first. So is it effective? Yes. Can it be used? Of course. But is it the first thing or something I should be worrying about in early stages, or once I don't already have my foundation links, on-page technical, and all the other assets in an actual business? Not a chance. So hopefully that helps you.
Oh, man. No, that's a good answer. Holly has also sent £5 because you look flustered.
Well, I was mad. I'm like, oh, of all the people that I, you know, have let down in my life. No, not Craig.
Nah,
that's guy.
These things happen, man. As I say, work is far more important than these shows as well. So you've got to do what you've got to do. So I need to get something straight in a minute, but I'm going to do Mark Flanagan's question first. With PBNs, do you work one site, one server, or will you put quantity of PBNs on one server where the links go to the same site?
No. Have I put multiple sites on a server where I'm linking to separate domains? Yeah, I have done that. And I do that. But I'm not going to point two separate sites on the same server to one domain. No, I don't do that. So no.
I wouldn't either, Mark. You know, I've always been keeping it separate all the time. Just I'm an overcautious guy. As Chris says, you can maybe do a couple on a server or whatever if you're pointing them. You know, you're not linking them all together. But best practice is one site, one server.
1,000%.
Gary Farmer, this is what I need to ask, right? Because this CBD flowers and this CBD cakes and everything else, is this you? Is this actually you? Because this CBD cakes guy has been following for ages and no one knows who he is. And I've asked him for a free cake and he just doesn't answer. Is that you, Gary, or is this another CBD guy? I'm just curious to know. We've also Chase Rayner. What's up, SEO pros? Thank you very much, Chase.
Thanks, Chase.
He is a great guy. Also, does some great videos and stuff like that online. So do check out Chase Rayner. He's a great guy. And also, Gary Farmer is not CBD cakes. I'm not sure what the hell is going on, but CBD cakes is someone. And I'm sure if we get an echo here, someone's complaining about an echo. I'm not sure if it's coming from mine.
Not me. The speaker's way over there. I bought this really cool speaker too. It's like this big.
I'm not really hearing an echo, man.
Hello.
I just seen someone saying it. But anyway, Craig Mullins, maybe power and cell towers are all out with snow. Oh, that was when you weren't here. That was at 5:10. That was talking about you, saying that you're maybe lost with power and all that crazy weather that you guys all seem to be getting.
Hopefully not. No. I have a generator too. I got crazy for a while there. I was like buying like snacks and stuff.
Everything could go off and you'll still be online.
I'd be straight. Oh yeah. Well, I don't know about internet, but as far as like, am I going to be able to play Candy Crush? Definitely.
As long as you can play Candy Crush, then I'm sure that is
really for this, you know, as long as little Chris has ABC Mouse.
What level are you on in Candy Crush?
No, I don't. It was just the first thing that popped in. I don't play games.
Or do you not play the games?
I don't play any games.
Because like my mum plays that game every day, and she's on some outrageous level, and she's been playing it for like years, every day for years. I'm just curious. I was just wondering if there was ever an end to it. But hey ho, so maybe someone in the audience can answer that one. Raul is asking, can we earn money from AdSense by ranking spun articles from the software?
Perhaps. I mean, if we're looking at, you know, it's not going to be enough to support a family or run a business unless you're doing scale. You know, like I AdSense doesn't. If you have a lot of it, maybe, but you'll make a little bit of money, but it's not going to be what you're hopefully looking for, I'm sure.
Yeah. I would do better than just spinning articles.
Yeah.
And you're likely to get more traffic, more traction. Facebook user, sorry, it's not coming up with your name. What is the best way to structure a site for local SEO? I'll be going for the whole country. Cheers.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Well, first, I mean, if I'm looking at competitors, I want to see what they're doing, but mostly it's going to be whatever the main city is, and then all the not municipalities, but usually towns underneath that. And then off of that, I'll do municipalities. So it's pretty simple. Top level is going to be the main city, and then all the small towns again, and then again, and again, and again. So website.com/Atlanta/ pick a town. Atlanta/pick a town. So that's how I would do it.
Cool. I would agree. But you can't really disagree. That is the best structure to have. So don't be like me and my own website and stuff. I've got a flat URL structure where I don't have it siloed out. So yeah, I wish I'd done that at the start. I uploaded a whole bunch of stuff, and then like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, shit. Why did I do it this way? And ever since, I've just been reluctant to change it because I just don't want to have my rankings tank. So all of my URLs just come off the root domain, which it's not really going to harm me because I'm not going to have thousands and thousands of pages and all that stuff anyway. So it's not a huge thing, but I think setting your structure up, especially when you're going to target a whole country or you've got a large e-commerce website, is super important.
I took your advice, actually. Like because I'm like, before it grows anymore, before I dedicate anything, because I want to rebuild and have it, I decided to go with a shorter instead of adding SEO or marketing, just use my name, but actually even shorter than that I went. So I took your advice on that. I just went Chris Palmer, not Chris Palmer though, spelled a little different, missing the, the A's and the E's.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Just to be different. You are different. We'll give you that, Chris. Vicky Verma, if I want to compete on a particular keyword, i.e. ZZ holidays, what should be the steps in respect to keyword density and anchor backlinks?
Well, that's simple. I mean, I'm looking at the keyword already, what's being rewarded by Google, first and foremost. This is going to give me optimization. LSI is going to give me my relevance. But for keywords like that, holiday, seasonal, think ahead. Start building pages ahead. So when that year hits, I'm already in position. So match the SERP and then build ahead. That's what I would do.
So here's a question for you. Would you potentially, like, when would it be, like, say, July 2021 when you would start thinking about 22? Is that what you would do? Would you start to then think about 2022?
It might even be I might even be too late. And I'd push it forward. I see guys do it 2 ways. They'll take the same page and then they'll just update it to retain authority. Or I've seen them 301 to the new page, like okay, this is the new year, and then keep moving. I've seen both work. But if I was going to do it, I'd want to do it in the beginning of the year.
So, because what I would do, just to save a lot of messing around, obviously what Chris is saying is correct, but also try and not have the years in your URLs, because what I'd much prefer to do is not keep doing redirects all the time. I would just want to update the content, the titles, the headers and everything else. But does that work that well, or do you work ahead would be the debate you would have at that point. But the reason I'm saying this is, I've had affiliate websites, and before a lot of the keywords were like best this and that for 2020 and all that stuff, and then going through and doing all those redirects year on year was like pulling teeth. So try and not put the year in the URLs, because you can just do better search and replace and do that stuff site-wide a lot quicker, as long as the URLs are not changing. So just a tip there, in case any of you ever do try and work in that way, just try and keep the URLs clean, would be my advice. But as Chris says,
it's good advice.
In certain industries, certain niches, especially where holidays are concerned, it's ultra competitive. You probably would be a lot wiser to think ahead, as Chris said, and maybe July is too late. as he says, it might be, March, something like that, figure it out. But yeah, that's how you, and anchor text on those, Chris, and keyword density. What would be, do you even tell people about keyword density now, or are you just looking at the competition, POP or whatever? Yeah,
it's whatever the SERP's calling for at that time. I'm going to go slightly above, obviously. Like if I'm seeing the leading competitors, 1, 2, and 3 are sitting at a percentage for, the partial or the variations, I'm going to go slightly above whatever's currently winning, just to be, TF, IDF more, whatever the term is.
I mean, what I would say to you, Vicky, here as well is try and forget keyword density. That's a term people used 10 years ago when, people were saying, like, you have to have X amount percentage of the keyword mentioned throughout the text. Google's a lot cleverer. It can use semantically related keywords and a whole bunch of other stuff where density is not probably the best way to look at it. Look at the competition, see what is ranking in page 1 using POP or Surfer or something like that, and that will tell you what you need to add on average. An anchor text, Chris, just mix that up as much as you can, not spamming it to death. You can use partial match, exact match, naked URLs, whatever, generic URLs, mix it all up.
Well, I do recommend this though. I don't ever waste anchor text. I don't ever, especially internal, it's exact. As far as anything coming in, I'm not building any generic. Build nakeds, partials, exacts, but internal, exact.
Never branded ones, nothing like that.
Oh, branded, yeah, of course, branded, yeah.
I mean, no, you don't. I wouldn't have something like on the word was or something like that. But you want to mix that up, not have random words, but branded, or whatever. Just don't keep going for exact matches. Essentially, what you want to do.
And I recently, speaking of pop, I recently started using it. It's slow.
Really?
Yeah, see, I thought it was me. It's funny because I talked to somebody else and they said the same thing. They're like, really? Because it's working pretty good for me. And I'm like, dang, man, it takes, maybe it's me. Maybe, do you use the extension or do you have your...
No, I just log into the back end of it. I don't use the extension.
Yeah, I don't use the extension. I was just using it and maybe I'm doing it wrong. And then you're utilizing the content editor within there.
Yeah.
And then running. Yeah, it just takes, I guess that initial, maybe it's just me at the times that I'm using it. I don't know. It's interesting.
How long are you reckoning that takes? Are we talking a couple of minutes here or
minutes?
Oh yeah, it takes a few minutes. It's obviously checking. It's obviously going away and checking the top 10 search results. Then it analyzes your page. So that is working there and then. So it's not instant, like bang. It does take a couple of minutes, but
that's interesting.
For me, that's all right because you can see it. It's just saying like scanning your competition. So it's obviously then, basically scraping the top 10 pages, then scraping your page and then collating the data. That just can't happen in an instant because it's
so that live. Couple. It just seems like, when you're speaking with the client and you're like, okay, I can see naked eye. I'm trying to prove a point. I pull it over. I put it in because I'm waiting for that red little circle. And then it's like, dang it.
Yeah.
So maybe just so a few minutes is normal then. Yeah. Because I'm used to, shall I not say their name? It's instant, like it's like done. You know what I mean? So I guess when we're scanning more factors at a better degree, it's going to take more time. Quality takes time is what you're getting at.
Exactly.
So just wait. Okay.
And it's live. They're not scraping from old data or anything like that. So I'm not sure of how the other tools work, but this POP would appear to be working there and now, which I'm comfortable with that, in that thought process. So, yeah.
I made the switch based off of you and Holly's recommendation. I was like, I was like, hey, what do I got to do to get this tool, dude? Yeah.
Cool. So LETP is next up. Guys, also just make sure to give us a like on the video if you are watching. We all have hundreds of people watching, and we only ever get like 10 likes. So give us a bit of love on these as well. But anyway, Hi, Craig. If you want to rank for more related keywords, would you add them to the pages that are already ranking and relevant, or would you create new pages to target those specific keywords? Chris, what would you do in this instance? I'll get your input first.
Yeah, so for the bigger volume keywords, I'll create other pages. But for other relevant terms that I can add into the already existing content to pull in more words, I would do that. But the bigger ones, I'm going to create dedicated pages.
That's exactly how I would do it. But what to do is look at your existing content and see if you can squeeze more keywords out of them. Longer tail keywords, add subheadings, add more text. That is essentially what you want to do. If it's super related to a page you've already got, it makes no sense to have a competing page.
That's
so
right.
Squeeze that page for every last keyword you can get. Obviously, it's something different, slightly different or whatever, then of course a new page is there. But there's no point in creating pages to compete with each other. That's just not a good thing for your website or for Google to see that two of your pages are going after a related keyword. So just bear that in mind as well. So you can look at topical clustering. You can look at keyword Cupid, which can help you identify the topical clusters and whether something needs a page or whether you can just not steal, but add to your own page. You can look at the competition and say, right, that their page ranks for all of this. I've got a page here that only ranks for half of that, so I'll just steal that idea and add that to my existing page and target those terms. So
and to add on to that, what I like to do is look at Search Console. This is what Google thinks that page is about. So if I'm looking at a page and I'm seeing the keywords and I know that word is not on the page, but Google already is giving me rankings, giving me traffic for that keyword, Google thinks my site's about that, go add that word to your page. So look at Search Console. You're ranking for more than one keyword. Pull those keywords over. You're going to see instant ranking increases. So I hope that helps you.
Cool. Glenn Raymakers, hopefully I've said that properly. Hi, Craig. How would you manage the SEO of a website generator? We're basically creating a Wix website, but I'm still thinking how we would generate the redirect schema, etc., etc. You any new experience using Wix, Chris? I've not looked at it for ages. Just
to play with to send links through or whatnot, but I don't. That would be my first recommendation is get that off and pull it into Drupal or WordPress or something else, something where I have more control easier. That would be my first recommendation.
I just don't work with Wix websites at all. Just in the past, they are not SEO friendly. And I know they're probably updated and there are certain things that are a bit friendlier now, but the fact that you don't have access to the server or any of the code in the website just makes things
harder,
a bit more difficult. So that's why everyone dodges Wix like a bullet, in my opinion. But they may allow you, I'm sure they must have like schema and stuff on there and the ability to redirect. I'm pretty sure they must have. So if you've got that access, then they're doing better than they were previously. So there you go. Colin Young. Hi, Craig. Hope it's not too cold in Glasgow. It's actually not. It's like 10 degrees today, so it's not bad. Any tips for link building onto a brand new domain, not aged with 0 backlinks? Chris, you go first on this one.
Well, it's brand new. I mean, if it's a local site, I mean, my first is going to be getting my social profiles up and running. I'm going to build my initial citations. And then there's nothing better than my primary service that I'm starting out with, press release. My business, my brand, plus my primary keyword. Here's who we are. Here's what we do. Here's our services and distribute. So that would be my first batch of links that I'd point into my site.
And see, when you say social profiles and everything else, so you also grabbing a whole bunch of Web 2.0s, your brand, .medium or whatever.
1,000%. That's I consider that part of the what does he call it? The social fortress. The Web 2s, the branded across. Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, you've got to build up a bit of power, and obviously your citations are hugely important for local SEO anyway, but they are also going to pass a little bit of power your way. then, you'd probably start to move on to trying to acquire better links, more relevant links. And you've just got to either buy them, make them, create PBNs, 301 redirects, buy guest posts, get on news websites, schmooze people. But PR works very, very well, as Chris says. PR is always a good thing to build up a fair bit of power, utilising the power of these PR websites. So whatever you can do and whatever you can afford, do it, and buy guest posts, slam some links at those guest posts to power them up properly, and stuff like that would be all things that I'd be doing with a brand new domain name. It's just trying to get those, just for Google to trust, give it some trust and authority. But even just going out with a new domain name and doing your citations and everything properly, it gets you up to like a DR10 quite easily anyway by the time you do that, and then it's just continuing to grow from there. But it just depends on what type of money you want to spend, or what you can do yourself. Obviously, guys like Chris will probably have people they go to for that, or build bits of them themselves to try and keep costs down. So it all comes down to budget as well. But you can buy everything you need anyway. You don't have to do any of it yourself, or you can do it all yourself if you want. Entirely up to you.
Yeah, and with the social, the Web 2 branded, the press release, it exactly what Craig said. Get at least one, just one. Whatever you can afford, the best. Send at least one to the homepage. The best you can. Just one link to the homepage. This should be first 30 days. And then I build out my next most whatever my next most ranking, whatever it's a service to product page. Again, the same thing. Press release. If you don't like press releases, then links, but only do 1 or 2. Wait, and then see. I don't just start hammering away. That's not recommended.
Dan Jones, I'm thinking about buying a website, but there aren't any good ones in Flipper, Empire Flippers, Odys, or flipping website for that niche. Are there any others to check? So you can check GoDaddy auctions if you've not been on there, but that would flag up in Spamzilla. Flipper, Empire Flippers, Spamzilla, Odys are all the kind of main players. There's also
expireddomains.net.
Expireddomains.net, but again, they should also flag up in Spamzilla. GoDaddy auctions, that's pretty much the main places you can go. Is there any secret underground places that you know of, Chris?
Phoenix. You could go to Phoenix. You could check that out. Yep. That's another.
Phoenix what? Just phoenix.com?
It's just called Phoenix. So if you go to Google and then search for Phoenix expired domains, it'll give you another list.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just another list.
So check that out. Dan, hopefully that helps you. Best SEO tip for a brand new domain name. If you can only give one, Chris, what would it be?
Best SEO tip for a brand new domain. The best?
Yeah.
Mirror what the leading competitor is doing.
That could be it. That was a good answer. I like that. Bastard.
That means everything. Site structure, page, design, the whole 9. This is what's winning. Okay. I'm going to match and mirror. Because then I'm going to win on the off page. Sorry.
What I would say to anyone starting with a brand new domain name, if I could only give one tip, so I'm not going to be sneaky like Chris and see everything in a roundabout way, I would say content, load it up with content right at the start, and catch a whole lot of long tail stuff. Content is really, really important. Of course, link building is important. Of course, everything else is important. But for me, the first thing I do, sometimes even before I actually buy the domain name, is create the content plan and just get it ordered so that I can slam that content on there as fast as I possibly can. So that would be the best.
That's excellent advice.
And
don't chase tricks. Content and links. That's it. There's no trick. That's the trick.
Talking about content writing, what is the best tool for content writing, Chris? Is there a tool that does it well?
I mean, it's pick your favorite content writer that is going to optimize to Page Optimizer. That's, whoever, there's a lot of services out there. And then it's just a matter of weeding out to find who's got the best quality, who delivers fast, 7-day turnaround time, 3-day turnaround time for a fair price,
And just what I'm taking from this, Raul, is you're potentially looking for a tool to do the content writing for you. There is no such tool that exists that churns out good content. I might be wrong that that's what you're suggesting, but that is the alternative. There is no great tool that does it. We've got to just content writers are the single most difficult thing I've ever found in this industry. Hiring people to do lots of different things, it's relatively easy. Content writers, it's not so easy. So it's no one wants to sit and write content all day, every day, really, do they? So it's a boring ass job and drive you to drink, really. It's not a good job. It's really just tedious, garbage.
Not fun.
And
link building's fun. CTR is fun, right?
Exactly.
Finding emails, even that's fun. Writing content, no, not so much.
James Moore, and guys, we are only at 17 minutes past 5 in terms of the questions, so we will try and whip through in the next 12 minutes as many of them as we possibly can. If we see something that's very basic, we may have to skip to get to the other ones, so don't be offended. And make sure you do give us a little like on the channel, like and subscribe. James Moore, tell Richard to rank a page and put the Vimeo video on the page. I think Vimeo videos can be changed out when needed, unlike YouTube. So that was a guy, I think that might have been before you came. The guy was saying the client loves Vimeo and doesn't want to upload their videos to YouTube. And why does YouTube videos rank on Google and Vimeo doesn't?
That's easy. I mean, it's Google property. You can get a double whammy. I mean, if you take Facebook and YouTube are probably the two video sources. If I was going to upload somewhere, those would be the two that I'd go for. Because if you go looking, that's what's popping.
Yeah. Until Vimeo somehow get bought over by Google.
Yeah, it's get down or lay down. I mean, if YouTube's winning, then that's where I'm going.
Yeah. Jose Claudio, love what you guys do. Thank you for always providing value. No problem. We appreciate it. Glenn Art is saying there's a huge amount of snow hitting Pennsylvania today. Is it possible that Chris's internet connection may have been affected?
I hope not.
What is ODYS? There's a link below, Raul, where you can sign up and check it out. It's a marketplace for age domains where you can go and have a look. So you can sign up using the link below if you want to have a look and see what it is. ZA Electrical. I bought a DA12 expired domain. It's too similar to a current registered company. I have redirected it in my host cPanel. How long before it powers up your new website? So how long do you reckon that takes to pass power, Chris, if it's going to pass power?
A DA12 probably has referring domains of what? 12, 20, 30, 40. I don't think that you're going to get what you're looking for off of that type of domain. Now, if you had a 5,000 referring domain and you 301 that in, then I'd say 30 to 45 days.
Yeah.
Either way, up or down. Usually up.
I would be looking for, a considerably higher DA than that one for the needle to move, but it might still move slightly with with what's there. Not saying
there's traffic.
But I wouldn't be. Chris is right, but I probably wouldn't be expecting to see a huge amount of movement on that. So try and do it, but as Chris says, 30 to 45 days is the usual lead time for something to start happening. The Furman, good to see you, mate. Gary Farmer, you don't see Aberdeen players letting down their team and country. You do not. So I'm just, Jesus Christ.
Oh no, let's not bring super sticker.
Perpetual corn, $40.
What's a super sticker?
I'm not sure what a super sticker is,
Blue.
but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. And I like that show too. I forget the name of it, but I like it.
So someone's saying, Chris, plug in your headphones or turn your speakers off. The echo's gone now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. My speaker's way out there, and it could be. Let's see. Yeah, we should be good.
Yeah. Gary Farmer saying he facilitates the growing of cakes, so to speak. So Empire Biscuits, is it, Gary? Stephen Buchanan, you know we're warmer than Texas right now. You guys are all freaking out about this cold. Someone's saying, so live IRL fan, Black Hat World now talking about micro workers for YouTube. They finally caught on, man.
I know.
When did you start using micro workers for YouTube? I'd love to know. She's been using it for years. I know that much. Are you worried that YouTube might patch somehow? Of course, you know, it looks like they've caught on. They may catch on. It's not really a big thing for me, micro workers. For YouTube videos, there are other ways to get that click-through rate and engagement, which obviously is you guys watching, and that's why we're always asking for likes and subscribes and everything else. And Holly's saying Google has known about micro workers for years. They couldn't care less. I think they probably have got more pressing things to worry about than micro workers. And how can they stop micro workers? It'd be nearly impossible.
And I haven't seen, for actual YouTube rankings, I haven't seen micro workers to boost, maybe in Google results, but for YouTube, I didn't see anything. You know, I haven't. Maybe I've been doing it wrong.
After this show, remind me to ask you something about YouTube, because I need to ask you a question. Okay. But I won't ask you here because I know you're not wanting to give all your secrets away. But CBD flowers, big volume in search for flowers over cakes. Just need Chris to pony up for Holly's CBD network now. Yeah, I'm on there. Well, I'm not on our CBD network, but I'm on our network and trying it out. So, yeah, it's all good. It can be any keyword, not only seasonal. I can't remember what Vicky's question was. It can be any keyword, not only seasonal. Oh, the holiday thing. That was the holiday thing. So, yeah, it can be any keyword. It doesn't have to be seasonal. But some people do search like 2021, 2022 and all that kind of stuff. So, if you're trying to cater for that, do consider it. Jenny Abubaya. I feel like Chris is recreating Bohemian Rhapsody with that black background and shirt. You do know that your background is black?
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was curious because I set it to, the normal stuff here. It's not coming in. Oh, hey, there he is.
There he is.
I don't know why though. It makes me disappear.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Back to black.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I tried. Can't win them all.
He's flustered today. He can't. He's when you're flustered, things go wrong.
Yeah, of course.
Random object. How to promote company in the local pack? What is your tips for local pack, Chris?
I mean, there's a lot of tips. I mean, it's going to center around clicks and traffic, though. Are you getting brand searches? Are you a brand? Do you have a website that is catering to the services and products that you're offering in Maps? Are you a brand and are you running traffic? That's the true question. It's the only thing that I've seen to hyper boost the rankings is traffic and clicks, but it has to be on an established brand is what I've found. It's easier on an established brand, I should say.
Yeah. That makes sense. So live IRL fan, is it possible that Google could patch it though, maybe through checking people's history? Holly saying, no, that would never happen. You rank based in CTR and revisits. It would be like removing AI from their algo. It won't happen. Google's not as smart as people may.
And that's a key. She just gave away a massive tip there. You know, the revisits. She just slightly just sprinkled that in there. That's so key. Just a little sprinkle from Holly for the boys.
Yeah. Chris wants to be the 30-second man, not the 3-minute man. I'm saying nothing. Live IRL fan. Once people use microworkers, people mentioned that they got a boost in CTR engagements, as you would expect. But YouTube tests videos on the channel and then the views tank. So I'm guessing the solution would be to make better content. Holly's saying they're tanking because you come out the box too aggressive, and if you stop the traffic without regular organic traffic, of course it will drop out. And that is again another golden tip. Where a lot of people go is coming out the boxes too hard and too fast. Of course, we all want thousands of clicks and engagement and all that stuff, but that is not the best way to do it. Holly also goes on to say, Chris, you need to get on my network for your press releases. You can get on and post on the sites that are just related to the home service, plus sites that are city bound. Get on there, Chris. There's a fucking fuck ton of websites on there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to put other pieces together. I figured out the first step. I'm just playing with the scraping and auto posting of content is what I'm trying to put that's the only step that, so I'm on it.
And live RIL fan, drip feed the views. Yes, make it natural, make it look good, and you won't go far wrong. Manoj Kumar, I analyze my competitors' backlinks, but the backlink domain have the most spam score of 60. So should I create backlinks like them? If nothing that's going to flag up as spammy, you would want to do, in my opinion. But also, what you need to look at is what is Moz calling spammy. I look at SEMrush now. I love SEMrush as a tool, but they look at websites. They look at the anchor text. They look at a bunch of other things, and they very often flag up stuff as spam that's not. And I know it's not. So you have to be careful of that as well. Don't be put off completely by Moz's spam score, because you need to understand what they're suggesting the spam is. But also, if someone's building a whole bunch of spam, do not follow them. Follow the good guys that are ranking well. That's what you need to be doing. No problem, Colin Young. Randy Roday, nothing like a great link from AP News to boost your website. What is AP News?
It's a $30 link. It's a press release link.
I get them all the time.
It's a nice one. Yeah.
Randy is the guy I go to for a bit of PR. So
it's like a market watch.
He does some good stuff. So check out Randy Roday, guys, if you're interested in PR links, and also check out Holly's network. Thanks for all the help you guys provide. Would you change something if you would have both the main page and the location page competing for the same main keyword? Let me tell you something on this first. So years ago, when I first started my blog, I just thought, I'm just going to shove up a blog. And, I'm an SEO in Glasgow, which is where I'm based. So the homepage title tag was SEO Glasgow, Craig Campbell SEO, or whatever it was. Then my homepage really only had news. It was like a blog feed on there. So it was all the different articles. But because I was slamming links at it, somehow Google loved that homepage and the word SEO Glasgow.
Somehow.
Now, years later, I was like, shit, I would rather have an internal page ranking. And I tried to, so I built an SEO Glasgow page and threw some links at that, and I couldn't get it onto page one. So when I removed the homepage title tag, and my page would end up in page 2. So there was this weird thing going on. And all I can really say is, because I slammed a lot of links at the homepage initially with partial and probably exact match anchors,
I kind of killed myself with that one. So I've been in that position where would you change something if you've got the main page and the location page competing for the same keyword? I've had that in that instance, and I found it very, very difficult to overcome. So I'm going to be honest, somehow Google just loved my homepage for that term, and it just hated the internal page. So you have to be careful what you do. But Chris, what's your take on that?
I think exactly what you said. It's having the foresight when you first start out, to create, hey, if I want to rank for a term, I need a dedicated page. My homepage should be brand. The rest should be keywords that I'm targeting. So you need to know this going into it. But if I have two competing, I'm going to choose the one that's best for my business, and I'm going to detune the other one or de-optimize the other one for that term. So that's what I would do in that instance.
Cool. Chad Hamilton's just saying hello. Hello, Chad. Good to see you here. Can you recommend any good quality paid link building services? There's tons of them. Go to linksforyou.com. I personally know the person that owns that, and they do good links. So linksforyou.com, but there's people all over the world. It depends on what you need. Alt Delta. Hey fellas, long time. I've been busy SEOing. Domain hunting question. How do you distinguish spammy domains from junk domains, if anything?
Generally, anchor text. I'm going to look at anchor text. I'm going to look in the Wayback Machine and see how many times has it crossed hands. What was the past content like? What's the incoming anchor text? That's really the two things that I'm going to be looking at.
Yeah, same. There's no special other way of doing it. You just need to run your eyes over it, and you can quickly see what's garbage and what's not. We've got two last questions, and then we're going to have to shoot off because we're 3 minutes over. Guys, do make sure you give us a little like and all that as well. But Raoul's asking, if I have to buy an expired domain name, how much will the spam score should be good? Everyone's got a different spam score, Raoul, so it depends where you're buying it from, but try and buy something that's not got a high spam score. Chris, what would you say is a good guide? Like, would you touch it if it's got any spam at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm shooting for 0, and I'm looking at all the tools. Like I'd look at multiple tools. You can start with Moz, but look at all the tools to see if it's guided. And then secondly, depending on the referring domains, how relevant it is, the power, does it have any index pages, is going to really guide me if it's worth buying. But usually if it's got spam score and it's across the board, every tool thinks the same thing, I'm sure Google thinks the same thing. So I just move on unless it's really, worth it.
Good answer. Manoj, this is the final question, guys. How much should I charge for my SEO service, both on page and off page included? So as a beginner, Chris, starting out in the world, how did you figure out your pricing?
I stumbled through it. I mean, it's, that's on you to decide. Plus you have to look at the market, so that's often debated, and my outlook has been, downlooked. So, that's for you to decide, my friend. That's for you to decide. Look at your leading competitors, see what they're doing. Again, I'd go right back to that. What are they doing? Because for me, it's what's my time worth plus the cost of what they need. Content, SEO, on page, off page, the content, the links, the citations, the press release. Plus I'm taxing them every step of the way. So I'm taxing them on the service and I'm getting them for my time. What's the price? There's your number. Depending on where they're at in their process is going to determine their price. So I'm gauging, that's what I'm gauging. How long is it going to take me? And then what services do they need? And then I'm taxing them on top of the service plus my time. That's my number. That's how I do it.
Charge appropriately. Most people make the mistake of massively undercharging when they start out, undervaluing themselves, desperate for money, and going in charging a pittance. Now, we all know what Chris said there is very, very important. We know that there's a cost for content. We know there's cost for links. We know there's cost for this, that, and the next thing. And there's also a cost for your time. You cannot provide a good service if that budget's not there. It's impossible to do SEO for $199 a month.
It's impossible.
Guys are charging. The tool SEMrush to do a basic audit costs $99 a month. So, you know, you've got multiple other tools to use. So you can never massively undersell yourself, because it is humanly impossible. I've had customers in the past who are, you know, beating my door down. This is crap. You know, this is crap. And I'm like, dude, you're only paying like, this was years ago when I had an agency. Dude, you're only paying like fucking £200 a month. I'm like, why am I not getting 10 blog posts? Why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting that? I can't walk into Walmart and say, I've got $10. Why can I not own this shop? You know, it's outrageous. So you have to just put that back in the customer and say, look, dude, if you want this, there's a cost. If you want that, there's a cost. Tax them on everything.
That's it. And when you break it down, you're going to come to a figure. If they're doing it right, you're going to come to a figure that's around $5,000 to $7,000 monthly. If they're doing link building on a weekly basis, building out content, I mean, it's expensive to do it right. You know, so
it's up to you, brother. You want to do it right. That is, you know, but it's up to yourself essentially. But that is us for today, guys. Do check out Chris Palmer SEO on his channel. He's pushing out videos every other day. So check that out if you're interested in what Chris has got to say. Obviously, make sure that you do like and subscribe here. So trying to drive that engagement up. And we will see you at the same time next week. So thank you.
My channel next week, right? Maybe.
Yeah, do Chris' channel next week. We're going to mix it up a bit. But I'll post that on social media and everything else with links. We'll do it on Chris's channel for a change, and I'll suck up some of his audience for a change. So we will catch you all next week. Same time, guys. Thank you very much for all your questions and everything else. Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.